Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 246 of a Wrestling Gal podcast, providing you with the female perspective on all things wrestling. Join me, your host and wrestling enthusiast, Ella Jaye. As today, I am once again joined by a pro wrestler in training, Emily Jaye. Now let's chat. Hello, everybody. Today I am joined by a familiar face if you are a longtime listener of a Wrestling Gal. We are here now talking to soon to be a pro wrestler in training, Emily Jaye. How are you today, Emily?
I'm good. How are you?
Of course, it's been a hot minute. I think the last time I had you was May of 2020, and you have done so much since then and so much coming up, which is why we are here today to talk about a lot of things. So,
yes. So much has happened since May of 2020, especially since COVID. And COVID pretty much gave everybody like a reality check. And it definitely gave me a reality check on like what I wanted to do with my life. And now I'm so excited for what the future holds for me and everyone. And yeah.
So let's rewind it back a bit before we get to how we got here and your plans that are coming up this summer that the people don't know yet. So yeah, the last time we talked was May of 2020. At this point, well, I guess we're just gonna have to get the cat out of the bag. May of 2020, you were still in high school, and then you were training or kind of training in pro wrestling at that time.
Not at that time. I didn't start going to training until November of 2020.
That's right. So at that point, you were kind of on the brink of that, and you've done so much since then. And now you're in college too, as well. You've been doing a lot. So I guess we'll just get the cat out of the bag at the beginning of this. You have a little announcement to make, I heard.
I do have an announcement. So right after Mania in Dallas on May 21st, I will be moving down to Orlando, Florida, and I will be training with Sean Spears and formerly known as Tyler Breeze at Flatbacks in Orlando. It's been a dream to actually be trained by some of my idols I looked up to for so many years, and now I have the opportunity. It's crazy.
And wrestling has been like an integral part of your life. I mean, at Emily Wrestling, for the OGs know, the last time we talked about your love for Maria Kanellis, of course, like Finn Balor and all of that stuff, like how you got into pro wrestling. But now you're actually taking officially that leap now, that next step to be a pro wrestler. Obviously, you have some prior experience. So before we get into everything Flatbacks and your upcoming stuff, you obviously, like you said, you had prior training late 2020 into early 2021. So from that experience before you took that break because the world was in shambles, what were some of your takeaways or things that you learned from your training prior?
So I learned that you definitely need to do your research on your schools and make sure that you are going to a reliable school with reliable coaches. So do your research. And I also learned like this sport cannot be taken like easily. Like it's a very difficult sport, and you think to yourself you can go in there and do what you see on TV, and that is not the case at all. It takes a lot of work, and it takes a huge toll on your body. I remember coming home and having bruises all over me. I couldn't walk for like a day or two, like my first day of training. And it's such a like life-changing experience just going there and attempting to do it, because you see how much work everybody puts into this, and it's just amazing.
You have come so far. I mean, obviously you're pursuing pro wrestling. You've been a fan since what, 09-ish? I want to say, yeah. So same year as me. That's what I thought. But I mean, you're in college right now. Was wrestling something that you had always dreamed about? Or what was your childhood aspirations career wise?
I've always wanted to be a wrestler. I never saw myself doing like a normal job. And when I went to college, I was like, I really don't want to be here. Like, I really don't. I don't see myself doing anything in this field. So when I was little, all I had in mind was I want to be a wrestler. I want to be just like the girls on TV. And that is what I'm trying to do now.
And of course, you have that background in cheerleading, I know as well. Did you have any other performance arts or sports backgrounds when you throughout your middle school, high school years besides cheerleading? I know that one for a fact.
I did do soccer when I was very little. I did it for like 4 or 5 years when I was like 6. And I was like, oh gosh, I said, I'm not doing this anymore. Can't do it anymore. But yeah, cheerleading was definitely like my main thing I stuck with.
Would you say that through your prior experience that any of the components from cheerleading has maybe helped you or aided you in your pro wrestling training process? That's yes.
Definitely for sure. Because one of the first things they'll ever teach you is your roles. And I have always done roles in cheer. So it was so easy for me to pick up on it while everybody else was still struggling. I was just fine with it because I have had to do it every day for the past 6 years. So I was completely used to it. But everything else, cheerleading really couldn't, what's the word? Cheerleading really like helped a lot, but in some aspects it made it very difficult because you're used to a certain way. And wrestling, you have to do it a way that is comfortable for you and is safe for you and your opponent.
Of course, too. I mean, what position base flyer? I know there's a bunch of that. Which position, if that's what it's called in cheerleading, were you?
I was a back, so I
Mhm.
pretty much was the base of everything. I pretty much held all the weight, and if someone fell like my flyer, I was in charge of catching them. No matter what, they were not hitting the ground.
What has been the craziest thing that has happened during one of your cheerleading practices or competitions?
Oh gosh. This is the one I always bring up, but I have a video of when my flyer was all the way up into a heel stretch and she fell back, busted my mouth open, busted my nose, completely broke my nose. And I was not about to stop the routine and do it all over again because I was already almost done with the routine. I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore. So I literally fell on the ground, swallowed the blood, got her back up in her stunt, did the dance, and was just sitting there gushing blood. So it's definitely the craziest one.
That's dedication right there. I mean, we've seen blood intertwined in pro wrestling, but it seems like you're not afraid of a little, I guess, crimson mask, as they call it.
Never.
No. How do you think that you would fare? So before we get into all of your training and stuff, I mean, I feel like we all love watching like stipulation matches and stuff. Is there one that you have like wanted to tackle like for the longest time, stipulation wise?
I want to do a death match so bad. It's they just bring like so much like energy to it and it keeps everyone in the crowd involved. And I want to do a death match so badly. So GCW, please reach out to me.
Now, do you have a weapon of choice in mind in a death match?
Oh gosh.
There's garbage cans, there's barbed wire, baseball bats, we've seen thumbtacks
I'd definitely say a baseball bat.
wrapped in barbed wire, maybe.
Yes.
Little McFoley homage there.
Yes, of course.
She's ready. So they're just gonna thrust you. If Flatback is listening to this now, they're just gonna thrust you into a death match.
Oh gosh.
Oh, that's so funny. But so you're embarking basically on like a life-changing opportunity and chance for you. But before you officially move, I mean, there has to obviously be a lot of thought process. And like you said earlier, doing your research on where you're going. But why now for you? I mean, this is coming up now. I mean, the pandemic is still a thing. You're still enrolled in college and all of that. So why is now the right time for Emily Jaye to pursue professional wrestling officially?
There's so much revolution going on in women's wrestling now. And I feel as though like I'm at my best, like as in my physical aspect and my mental aspect. I feel like I'm at my top and I feel like I can really do this at this point. And I will be taking like a year off of college just to focus on wrestling. And I feel as though like this is my best time to actually get my life together and put my foot down and actually do this, and do this not only for like the people that didn't believe in me, but for me. I deserve to do this and make myself proud.
Of course, and you're already making me so proud. I mean, I know you personally. It's so crazy. I mean, and also coming up to like we get to finally meet in person at Dallas. Like this is literally coming out the day before we both leave at like 6 a.m. for Dallas, Texas,
I leave
which
at
is
4 in the morning.
fair. Okay, kind of. I mean, my flight departs at 6:30. I'll probably be leaving probably around 4:30, 5 o'clock.
My flight
So
at 4 in the morning.
yeah, girl, it's gonna be a long day, but we are gonna be seeing each other. We'll talk about that a little bit later once we get towards WrestleMania talk, because we are in WrestleMania season coming up, and it's gonna be wild coming up so quickly. Now, like at the time of recording this, you're like just over 2 months away from training at Flatbacks. But
Yeah.
like you said, that decision now felt like the right time for you, but there had to have been a lot of thought process and research in finding a school, because you're based in good old Roanoke. And so for our friends, they know our inside joke, but you're based in Virginia. And so
Yes.
you're traveling all the way states away to Florida. Why Flatbacks?
I love flatbacks. Everyone I've talked to, rather it's my friends, it's actual wrestlers in the company, they have all said that flatbacks is one of the best schools I could ever go to, because they will teach you the fundamentals and get you the basics and help you develop your own character and make you the best you can be in such a short amount of time. And they all say they're so reliable, and it's such a good school because it's not like a school, it's more like a family at that school. And that's what I strive to have, is a family relationship at a school, because we're all in this together. It's not this person's better than this person. It's we're all in this together and we're going to do this together.
And I have spoken recently with two people who have trained at Flatbacks, Valentina Rossi and Kyla Knights, and I've only heard good things about it coming out of Sean Spears and Tyler Breeze's school. So definitely, did you just stumble across on it, or what were you looking specifically in Florida, or who were you taking recommendations from, or like what was your research process like in determining which school?
So I have followed flatbacks ever since they opened the school.
Fair.
And I have always talked to one of my closest friends, Amari, about it. And she was just like, I really want to do this. And I was like, girl, put your foot down and do it. And like her situation's different than mine. And it just made me want to fall in love with the school even more, because I see their training videos. I love the way the coaches are involved in the training and not just standing there and telling you what to do. They will actually help you and not just tell you, hey, go do this, hey, go do that. And they'll get in the ring, explain how you do it. They'll demonstrate it for you. They'll help you until you get it right.
And of course, everybody has a different style of learning, but I feel like in pro wrestling, I mean, obviously you can give verbal feedback, but I feel like it's one of those hands-on sports where it's easier to show somebody than like explain
Oh, it
a
is.
move or a tweak something so you can perfect it.
It
And
is.
so I definitely like that hands-on approach. And would you say that's kind of like your learning style, like preferred learning style in general? Yeah.
Yes. That and writing stuff down. Writing stuff down will help you a lot more than you think, because if you write it down, you'll remember you wrote it down. You'll remember every little thing that you wrote down, and you can just go back on it and just look at it and then go through your head and figure out what you're doing. Because I know that's what I personally did a lot. And I have a whole notebook full of stuff that I've learned at previous schools. And I loved every bit of information they gave me. And it really helps just having like a pencil and paper.
Yeah, I know a lot of wrestlers I've talked to have like a notebook of, I mean, memories too, but also moves and ways to kind of perfect themselves, whether it's a move or something character or advice they've been given to. So it's definitely a great opportunity for you. I mean, you're going to be training with some of the best people we've seen in pro wrestling. Obviously, both of them are former WWE stars. Sean Spears is in All Elite Wrestling right now. So you got some really good names, and like people have also participated in TV exposure who I think have a great head on their shoulders too in that aspect.
Yes, completely agree.
And I mean, I'm so proud of you. Like I can't stop smiling, honestly. This is gonna be us crying this whole time.
I'm gonna cry.
Don't cry. But I mean, you're embarking on like a really life-changing experience. I mean, assuming that the world doesn't shut down, whatever again. For you too, I mean, you're going to be there for 3 months. That's a long time. And I know you've given some thought to also kind of like character work and stuff like that. And you made, I think a decision that not a lot of people do in keeping like your actual name as your ring name. I know that wasn't your original idea, but what really prompted you or made you decide to go into professional wrestling under Emily Jaye?
So, Emily J is something everybody has ever known me as when I've grown up on social media. Everyone has known me as Emily Wrestling or Emily J. There was no in between ever.
Yep, I've known you for like 6 years. Yeah.
And so everybody knew me as Emily J. And I actually ended up talking to Heath Slater, or Heath, whatever you want to call him. And I talked to him about it, about my name change, because I did have a couple names in mind. I got his opinion on it. And he told me, he was like, why don't you just keep your name, since everyone already knows you as that? Because once you change it, people are going to be like, oh my God, who is this? And he was like, you might as well just keep your name, since everybody knows you as that. And if it doesn't work, you can change it to one of the names you just told me. So I've really like take his opinion to like my heart. Like that man does more for me than anybody I know. And his opinion means a lot to me. So coming from him, that he's like, just keep your name, it's okay. Like people are going to know who you are if you just keep your name. And I just love him for that.
Now, has he or anybody else given you kind of advice before you even embark on this journey that has really stuck with you? That's a yes.
Yes. So I have lots of people that I look up to that help me a lot. And another one besides Heath is definitely probably Johnny Gargano and Liv Morgan. Those two people have messaged me so many times, helping me, remind me that it's going to be okay, and that I just need to believe in myself. If Even if nobody else believes in me, I have to believe in myself that I can do this, and I need to prove every single person wrong that ever doubted me or said one bad thing about me. Because when I am up there shining, it does not matter what they said, because I did this on my own and I did this for myself and not for anyone else.
Exactly. And you are Emily J. Love the name. Ella J and Emily J are going to be taking over Dallas in a few weeks, but I digress on that. You definitely have And I think you're very fortunate to kind of already have an idea of what to expect with prior training, of course. But like you said, some names who already know you and already have their foot in the business and their experience. And of course, even before you get even settled into Flatbacks, and you kind of already have this vision of your character persona as Emily J. We need to get you a nickname sometime down the line. We'll work on that. But I know that you kind of already have like your look and gear kind of in mind. So without giving too much away, can you tell the listeners some things they can expect from your new look?
So with my new look, you're pretty much going to be pretty like excited for my new look. It's a lot of neutrals, but I promise you it will not disappoint. It's something you guys have never seen before on anyone that I have known. And I'm very excited for when my gear comes and I can show it off because it's going to be very exciting. And especially when I get my entire look done for my debut, that will be so exciting. I'm so excited for everyone to see.
We might be getting a hair change, right?
Yes, we will.
Okay.
We will be getting a hair change.
That's going to be super exciting for you. And I better be one of the first people to see your gear in person.
Oh, of course.
I better be. I'm
You
super
will.
excited for you, Emily. Of course, you have this whole journey ahead of you, but with your prior training, or maybe it's something that you'll become adapted to through this process at Flatbacks, but do you feel like accustomed to or drawn to a certain style of wrestling yet, or are we kind of in the early stages? I mean, there's like lucha, strong style, high. I would love to see you as a high flyer. I don't know how you feel about that, but is there like a certain style or a few variations that you feel that you might be good at?
I feel like I'd be a very good technical wrestler, especially since I like staying on the ground.
No flying for Emily just yet.
No top rope for Emily just yet. I'm terrified of that top rope. It is terrifying. It's a lot higher than people think. But I honestly think I'd be a pretty good technical wrestler, and I'm getting trained by someone whose gimmick's literally one of the best technical wrestlers in the business. So yeah, I'm excited to learn from him. Okay, Mr. Sean Spears. Excited to learn technical wrestling from him. And yeah.
So throughout the whole, I mean, one technical wrestler I feel like a lot of people think of is Deanna Perrazzo too, who's hanging above me. For you, I don't know, have you learned any submissions? Or if you haven't, what are some of your favorite submissions or finishing moves in professional wrestling?
I'm always gonna love the figure eight because I know I can do it, and I've done it so many times when I was at my old training school, and I absolutely adored it. But geez, when that thing gets reversed, it hurts.
I bet you also got to have the bridge too for the figure eight. Ooh.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's crazy. But I also do love the arm bar. I'm always gonna love the arm bar.
I mean, it's a classic right there.
You gotta love it.
Do you, in terms of like in-ring work too, I feel like you have to do a bit of studying too to kind of like figure out that you like technical wrestling and all that. Who are some people that you have like go out of your way to study or watch material from?
I love watching William Regal. William Regal is so fun to study. He is such an amazing wrestler just in general. His promo skills are amazing. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people saw that when he literally just had a promo on AEW, I think last week. And it literally brought me to tears. And I was so emotional with it when I really shouldn't have been that emotional, but I just love William Regal. I never really saw me liking him as a wrestler, but once I was older, I realized this man literally is one of the best wrestlers in the entire world.
He really is, and I feel like is very underrated. He's great on the mic, but also has great in-ring work and experience. And so I'm so excited for his new ventures in AEW. And like you said, I feel like he's really underrated and underappreciated.
Yes, he is for sure.
Man, you got so much coming up too. Obviously, you said your journey starts in May, correct?
Yes.
Yes. So we're coming up on, at the time this will be out, it'll be then less than 2 months at that point. So what are you most looking forward to traveling to Florida?
I'm excited for the sun. I hate the cold so much.
Well, it'll also be like almost summer at that point too.
Oh, yeah. I will definitely be down there on my birthday, which sucks, but I'll be training on my birthday. So at least I'll be doing something I love on my birthday. So that's the good part. But like, I'm so excited to actually have fun in Florida because I absolutely love. I go down to Florida almost every year for vacation, and I always never want to leave. And now I actually get to stay for like 3 months. And I'm like, whoa, when did this happen? But I'm excited. The one bad thing is I do have to leave like my pets and my family and my friends that are here.
Good old shithead.
Yes.
For the people who don't know, they're gonna have no idea.
Yes. For the people that do not know, I have a cat literally named Shithead. Don't know why he's named that. Not my name of choice. I named him Toby.
My cat's name that's laying right next to me is Toby. So that there you go.
But the one sad thing is I do have to leave my pets, my friends, my family. But I know when I come back, I will be stronger than ever. I'll probably be the happiest I have ever been in a while, because a lot of people don't talk about like what a toll on your mental health being stuck in your hometown has been. And I think I've discovered that, and that's another reason why I'm trying to get as far away from Virginia as possible. That is also another reason I'm going to Florida, because it takes a huge mental toll on your health. Like, it's just a lot. And it sucks, but this is something that I've always wanted to do, and I have the opportunity to do it, and I have the financial situation to be able to do it, and I'm very excited that I have that opportunity. And yeah.
So assuming everything you want and envision goes how you plan, what are your hopes or goals after you graduate from Flatbacks and or make your pro debut?
So one of my goals is I definitely want to wrestle one of my best friends, Miss Ella Envy. That is one of my goals. That love that girl to death. If y'all do not know her, please check her out. She is amazing. Please watch the Crockett Cup. This is out past then.
Yeah, but
So
they at the time they could be the NWA Women's Tag Team Champions by
they
then.
could be the NWA Tag Team Champs. So make sure, if you haven't already, watch the Crockett Cup and you can see her. But besides that, one of my main goals is I do want to have an AEW dark match by the end of the year if it's possible, if not some point at 2023. Yeah.
Just know if that happens, I will literally be crying on my screen. Be like, yes, bitch, let's go.
I love how AEW gives the platform to indie wrestlers, just to give them a match and give them professional promo pictures, give them television and crowds that they've probably never seen before. And I just love that, and I want to experience that so bad. So hopefully I have that opportunity.
Now, assuming you get on AEW Dark by the end of the year, maybe next year, who would ideally, I assume it's not Abaddon, but who would ideally be your dream opponent if you were to be on AEW Dark?
Oh gosh. If they allowed it, I would rather have Ruby Soho, because I love that girl, because I love the Riot Squad, and one of my other dream matches is Liv, of course, but it would be amazing to have a match with her. And since everyone compares me to her, I would want to have a match with Miss Dr. Britt Baker.
I actually didn't know that people compare you to her. Why is that?
I have no idea. Absolutely no idea. And I'm just like, okay.
I mean, I take it as a compliment. I mean,
Oh,
at the time, literally we're filming right before Dynamite, so she could lose a championship, but at the time of recording this, she is still the AEW Women's World Champion. So I would say that's not a bad comparison.
It's really not.
But yeah, so you have a lot coming up on, but you're talking about traveling to Florida, but we also have another trip coming up, traveling to Dallas, Texas. It is
Yay.
WrestleMania season. This will be the first time I am meeting you in person, literally the day we both land. We're already doing something. Gonna be so exciting. What are you looking forward to most in Dallas, Texas?
I'm excited to see all my friends. Number one, that is probably what I'm most excited for. But like show wise or wrestling wise, I'm very excited to see probably some GCW shows that I've never seen before. And then I'm excited to meet back up with some of my friends in wrestling that are wrestlers, because a lot of them will be at signings and stuff. So I'm excited to see them, and I'm excited to see my friends that are from overseas because I've never seen them ever.
Yeah, same. I have a couple friends coming in from out of the country, and it's so crazy that you know somebody online and you're like in this bubble and you have FaceTime or text and all that, but to actually meet somebody in person is like, I'm very excited to see you. We got DZ does Dallas. That's gonna be super fun. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited. He's great.
It's my first WrestleMania. You've been to WrestleMania before, but this year is a bit different for you. I mean, this is your first time attending a 2-night Mania. It's my first overall, but out of the matches announced so far, we still probably have a bunch. Is there one that you are looking forward to the most?
Definitely the tag titles for the women's tag titles, not the men's.
I wonder why. Liv Morgan.
I wonder. I wonder. Liv is my girl. If anybody does not know that is my girl.
Got her right behind me. You can't see it really well, but I'm excited. Her and Rhea have been a really good tag team. Like they vibe and mesh really well together.
Yes.
I'm really glad that I believe that's night 2. It is night 2 now that I think about it. I'm excited that they are doing something for WrestleMania. Obviously, is this Liv's? She had the thing with Natty on the pre-show in 2020, but is this her?
Third.
Oh, Battle Royal, that stuff. Got you. So
she had one last year.
What am I not thinking of?
Tag titles with Ruby.
Ah, that's right. That feels like a lifetime ago. You guys are gonna have to forgive me. That's also the last time that the WWE Women's Tag Team titles were defended on pay-per-view. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's been a long time. I'm so excited she has an opportunity. Obviously, Sasha Banks and Naomi are in that match, and also Queen Zelina and Carmella. Maybe Natalya and Shayna might be added by the time this is out. It might be a fatal 4-way or fatal 5-way or gauntlet. We don't know yet. But I must say, I'm also really looking forward to like Edge and AJ Styles. That is going to be so good. Still salty they changed Edge's theme song. That's a whole other discussion, but there's also, there's Becky and Bianca, and there's also Ronda and Charlotte. There's a lot of exciting stuff.
I'm also excited for the KO show with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh my God. When you hear that, it's 316 days we're recording this. So you're going to hear that glass break on the KO show. It might turn into a match. Who knows? I feel like Stone Cold's definitely going to pull out the stunner one more time at least.
Oh, I will cry. You will see me crying in my seat.
Literally. But Emily, it has been an absolute pleasure again catching up with you. And of course, I'm so glad that you got to officially break the news. And if anybody's watching this who's going to be in Dallas, Texas, and you see Emily, congratulate her, because she is taking a huge leap that not a lot of people have, traveling to train and follow her dreams. So if you see her in Dallas, Texas during WrestleMania weekend, just come up to her and congratulate her.
I promise I'm not scary. Everyone thinks I'm scary in person. That's all they talk about on my lives.
Well, I think part of it's because you're you're only like an inch or two. I think you're only an inch taller than me, but
I'm 5'9".
I'm 5'8". So I rarely meet people taller than me.
Well, can't relate. I'm taller than everyone.
Fair enough. Don't wear heels, then I'll be taller than you.
I'm not wearing heels.
Oh, that'll be so fun. But Emily, again, congratulations too. And I wish the best of luck to you. You won't need luck. I'm so excited for you in your future. I mean, coming up 3 months is a long time, but I know you're going to absolutely kill it. And of course, we'll have to catch back up. Who knows? Maybe a year from now, you'll already be on AEW Dark. You'll be making your pro debut. Who knows? But you'll definitely be ring ready. I'm so excited for you. So, really, I don't know, just in general in the scope of things. I mean, we know the answer, but in general scope of things, who would you say in an ideal world, where and when and who would your dream match be against?
Oh gosh. Um I definitely would have it in probably like Chicago because I feel like Chicago has some of the
Hmm.
best fans because there's a
Hmm.
lot of hardcore fans there.
Hmm.
So I definitely have it in Chicago, and everybody already knows the answer to this, but it would be Liv
Liv
Morgan.
Morgan. Yeah.
That is my girl. She has promised me a match for years because she knows how much I've wanted to train, and she has seen all my training videos and is so freaking proud of me. And she's one of the reasons I just keep going and keep trying. And she reminds me every day, like, don't give up. Like, it's fine. You're gonna have bad days, but it will be okay. And I just want to wrestle her so bad.
Well, Emily, manifest that shit.
I got my crystals.
Never say never. This year's already been wild. Dolph Ziggler is the NXT champion. We will still see him. He does have a match at TakeOver Stand and Deliver against Braun Breaker, but when we see him, he will still be NXT
Yes,
champion.
will.
Might be in jeopardy at TakeOver Stand and Deliver.
We
Mickey
might just
James.
take
Mickey
it.
James has been in the Royal Rumble. Never say never in professional wrestling. That's one thing I've learned this year. But Emily, before I let you go, can you please tell the listeners where they can find you on all your social medias?
You can find me on all my socials on Twitter and Instagram at Emily J Pro.
It's a new thing. Rip Emily Wrestling. Good times, good memories though, but
Yes,
it's a new chapter in your life and I really am so excited for you. And again, thank you so much for joining me today.
thank you for having me.